NewsNation D.C. Bureau Chief Mike Viqueira watching this as well with us. This is a moment that he's excited about, to be back in New York, to have the support of the business community as he's named Time Person of the Year 2024. Talk about this moment in the spotlight for the president-elect.
Well, I mean, clearly Donald Trump, the president-elect, is reveling in this moment. We just heard those comments prior to this opening bell ringing of the New York Stock Exchange by Donald Trump and his family. We carried his comments live here on News Nation. Clearly relaxed, clearly feeling confident, surrounded by his one-time rivals, now vanquished, and now allies like Doug Burgum and RFK Jr., others who had run against him at one point. A show of force, his family surrounding him here by President-elect Trump, back in New York City, back where in the financial markets where he feels obviously very comfortable, making all kinds of promises to end inflation, to end the wars in Ukraine and elsewhere, to bring manufacturing back, to cut taxes, top corporate taxes as well as personal income taxes. Feeling as though this is a moment of promise, clearly conveying that message is the president-elect today. At the New York Stock Exchange, which incidentally is on a huge run with the cuts of interest rates from the Federal Reserve over the course of the last couple of months, really going well before that. Even the NASDAQ, he's at the New York Stock Exchange now, but the NASDAQ now at record highs over 20,000, as is the New York Stock Exchange at around 44,000. So a boom time in the stock market that's been going on even preceding his first term, but is it really accelerating now as he prepares to take office? Marni.
First time he has rung the opening bell on the stock exchange. The second time he's been named Time Person of the Year. The last time was in 2016. When you talk about business and the economy, the threat of tariffs has certainly put a number of nations, China, Mexico, and Canada, on edge. What are those in Congress saying about Trump's plans and the economic impact they could have?
Well, look, Donald Trump was asked this recently in a network interview, and he says, there could be, he would not commit to his tariffs, his proposed tariffs causing inflation. But look, it's the threat of tariffs, even the threat of tariffs that is making manufacturing companies adjust, that is making rival governments in China and elsewhere adjust. It is moving manufacturing preemptively away from some of those countries and those territories to try to avoid what appears to be inevitable. Of course, he did follow through in his first term with his tariffs on China. Many people predicted that would result in some inflation. Then President Trump denied that these costs would be passed on to American consumers. They were, in fact, passed on, but it wasn't to an appreciable effect that really cost him politically. And, of course, inflation was a #1 topic heading into the election that we saw on November 5th and really maybe even a determinative factor in getting Donald Trump back into the White House. There are a lot of reasons for that. And obviously, the Federal Reserve keeping interest rates high throughout that was another determining factor. But now we have this confluence of events, inflation going down somewhat, although it's still at 2.7% in the last month that we just got a report on this week. Another thing to look forward to is the Federal Reserve expected to cut rates yet again when they meet next week on the 18th on a Wednesday. So a number of factors here in the economy coming together, and those tariffs are looming. It remains to be seen exactly how the markets are going to react to that, although so far, no sign that the markets are slackening. This bull market continues. Marni.
And trading has now begun with the ringing of the bell. President-elect Donald Trump in New York to get things started today. Significant, certainly. Mike, thanks. We'll see you next time.
Okay.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.